Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Ayushi Paliwal from University of Delhi. So students, today we are going to discuss about the module Important Metals, Alloys and Their Applications Part 1 from the paper Functional Materials. So the purpose of this module is to make the students familiar with first the classification of metals and alloys, second the different ferrous alloys, mainly the steel, their properties and their uses. So students, let us start with a basic introduction about the module. Very beginning of material science started with the ancient human, which is started making tool out of stones. That was a stone age. Ancient men used other materials too, such as woods, bones and skins of animals and clays. Around 5,000 years back, with the use of bronze in their lifestyle, paved the path for the use of metals in various purposes. The advantages of the metals are their ductility, deformability, castability, machinability, etc. Later, Iron Age came, and now we see the world of advanced materials starting from ceramics, polymers, and composites. It is worth mentioning that the evolution of materials is a result of constant effort to improve the lifestyle of mankind. Evolution of materials. So students, this shows the time period of evolution of different materials. So as you can see that in the Stone Age, which was 2.8 billion years ago, now we have the semiconductor age, that is late 20th century to the current time. Study of materials. Study on different materials is equally important since it allows newer materials to evolve with better properties, easy processing, and improved performance. All the three parameters, that is, properties, processing, and performance, they are intimately related to each other and they are controlled by the structure and the composition of the material. These five parameters, they can be expressed in the form of materials tetrahedron in this figure. This figure has been discussed previously also. Let the importance of the tetrahedron to be discussed with the help of some simple application of any material, for example, lead tin solder. The solder is a low melting eutectic binary alloy of lead and tin with a composition of 61.9 weight percent tin. The microstructure consists of alternate lamellae of lead-rich alpha phase and tin-rich beta phase. The reason for choosing eutectic is to get a single melting point, which is the main property of the solder, and it allows the solder to operate at lowest possible temperature. It is available in the form of wire because it ensures lowest possible material requirement during soldering an electronic circuit. It also just suggests that it is to be processed by wire drawing, and finally the performance of the solder will be decided by its strength, adherence, and durability. Hence, all the five parameters, they are closely related in order to fulfill best possible functioning of the material. This is true in all the engineering applications of the material. Materials classification. So students, we all know that the materials can be classified into solid, liquid and gas. But there are four subgroups of solid materials, and these are metals and alloys, ceramics, polymers and composites. Classification of metals and alloys. So students, as per the periodic table, we all know that 81 elements are metals. Metals and alloys, they can further be classified or categorized into three parts. Iron based, which are known as ferrous. The non-ferrous, that is the base metal, would be anything but iron. Ferrous part mainly consists of steel and it is widely used metallic material. It is an alloy of iron and carbon along with varying alloying elements, which can be added to iron carbon alloy ranging from minor addition or major addition in order to achieve different microstructures, properties, processing abilities, and finally, performances would also vary widely. On the other hand, there are many other metals and their associated alloys like aluminium, magnesium, titanium, nickel, copper, zinc, zirconium, titanium, silver, gold, platinum, lanthanum group of metals, and many others. However, we will discuss only the important non-ferrous metals and alloys. So this table shows the general classification of metals and alloys. The most important property of metals and alloys is their ability to get deformed into different shapes. This actually helps them to be used in various engineering applications, especially in structure. Other exciting properties of metals and alloys, they are mentioned further in this presentation. These are general character and it may differ from metal to metal. So general properties of metals and alloys are: first, they composed of one or more metals with large number of free electrons. Second, they are good conductor of electricity and heat. Third, they are strong and deformable. So excellent deformability of metals and alloys allows them to be used in most of the engineering applications. Now let us discuss about the steel and their variants. Steel is an alloy of mainly iron and carbon with the presence of manganese and silicon. As per the phase diagram of binary iron carbon system as shown in this figure, alloys containing carbon content up to 2 weight percent, they are called as steels, and alloys with carbon greater than 2 weight percent are known as cast irons. So depending on the different alloying conditions and the steels, they can be further divided into several groups from the point of alloying. However, there are other ways steel can further be categorized. Other major parameters which can be used for the grouping of steels, they are microstructure, that is ferritic, perlithic, martensitic, benetic, tempered martensitic, spheroidal, etc. Depending on the working process, hot worked, cold worked, warm worked, etc. And the heat treatment, hardened, softened, recrystallized, annealed, stress relieved, case hardened, carbazide, etc. Hence, with the combination of alloying, microstructure, and processing, the properties can be altered or designed or engineered depending upon the specific use. Steel in general possesses the following properties. First, it is strong and ductile. Second, easily formable. Third, good drawability. And fourth or last is that good electrical and thermal conductivity. Specifications. In order to select proper steel for specific application, steels carry some standard specifications. Different countries follow different specifications too. Interestingly, most of the specifications, they are mainly based on the chemical composition, which actually act as the guiding factor for choosing suitable treatment, processing, and associated mechanical properties. Alternatively, specifications based on mechanical properties can be used. So students, let us start with the first Indian standard specifications. It is based on chemical composition. One such example is ISC 15, which means the carbon content is 0.15 weight percent. Other alloying elements can also be written along with the carbon specification, such as 55 Mn1, which consists of 0.55 weight percent of carbon and 1 weight percent of manganese. Another example is 15 Mn75, which means that it contains 0.15 weight percent carbon and 0.75 weight percent of manganese. 75 does not mean 75%. In case of tool steel, T is written. For example, T118 means 1.18 weight percent of carbon. Now let us discuss the AISI SAE classification. American Iron and Steel Institute AISI and Society of Automotive Engineers SAE use different specification. The composition of the steel is indicated by a 4-digit number. The first 2 digit stands for the alloying elements. Last 2 digits indicates the carbon content. Means if the steel is 1040, means 0.4 weight percent of carbon, and AISI 4340 stands for a nickel chromium molybdenum steel. So the table which is shown over here represents the different AISI SAE specifications and the corresponding type of the steel. The next is the British specifications. According to the older British system, the letters EN is associated with a number such as EN2 means a carbon steel with 0.15 weight% of carbon. EN8 means 0.4 weight% of carbon steel. Newer style of British specifications starts with BS such as BS 970. The first three digits indicates the following elements. Middle letters A, M or H are related to analysis based, mechanical properties based or hardenability based specifications respectively. Steels. So let us now discuss the first type of steels, that is plain carbon steels, which are also known as low carbon steels, and they contain around 0.1 weight% of carbon. Since the hardenability of these steels is low to produce martensite, they are not heat treated. The microstructure consists of mainly ferrite with very small fractions of pearlite. Mechanical properties are YS 200 to 300 megapascal, UTS 300 to 370 megapascal, and elongation of 28 to 40%. Under uniaxial tensile test, these steels show yield point phenomena, which is the discontinuous deformation due to the pinning to dislocation around the interstitial carbon atoms. This produces orange peel effect, which produces rough surface. This can be minimized by finer ferrite grains. Extraordinary elongation allows these steels to be suitable in applications like stampings of automobile and refrigerator bodies, tin cans, and corrugated sheets. So, this was all about the conventional low carbon steels. Let us now discuss the dual phase steels. Dual phase steels are also the low carbon steels, and they have two phase microstructure, mainly ferrite, and 10 to 12% martensite or ferrite, and 10 to 12% tempered martensite. These steels have improved strength without any loss of formability, as is found in conventional low carbon steels. These steels are characterized by, first, the absence of discontinuous yield point, second, a low ratio of yield strength to tensile strength, third, a high work hardening rate, fourth, a high tensile strength, fifth, a large uniform elongation. Low carbon steels, they are given intercritical annealing between the temperature A1 and A3 in iron carbon phase diagram to convert austenite to ferrite to some extent, and then the steels are quenched to form martensite from the remaining austenite. Typical mechanical properties are YS is approximately 350 megapascal, UTS is approximately 650 megapascal, and elongation is around 30%. Though the formability of the dual phase steels are little less than that of the conventional low carbon steels, they don't show rough surface due to the Lueder's bad formation during deformation, which is the main cause for yield point phenomenon and rough surface. Dual phase steels find application in various automotive components such as bumpers, wheel discs, and door panels. It actually improves the fuel efficiency by reducing the total weight of the steel, since these steels have much higher strength than that of the conventional low carbon steel. Now let us discuss the second one as the mild steels having the zero point 0.1 to 0.25 weight percent carbon. So first we will be discussing the conventional mild steels. They find maximum use as a structure materials and they contain zero point 0.1 to 0.25 weight percent carbon. They are used in as rolled and air-cooled condition. Microstructure of mild steel consists of around 25% perlite and rest is ferrite. Because of high carbon, the strength of mild steel is high with compromised percentage elongation. The typical mechanical properties of mild steels are Ys is around 300 to 350 megapascal, UTS is around 400 to 450 megapascal, and the elongation is around 25 to 30%. Mild steels as well as low carbon steels, they have excellent weldability. This actually facilitates the use of mild steels in structural components where welding is often required. Typical use of mild steels are plates of ship hulls, boilers, oil pipelines, first beams, H beams, I beams, H beams, angles, channels, etc. So the next type of the mild steel which we are going to study is the microalloyed steels. In order to improve the mechanical properties of mild steels without damaging the excellent weldability, microalloying is often encountered. Steel containing microalloying additions like titanium, niobium, vanadium, etc. They are called as microalloyed steels. These elements form alloy carbides since they have strong affinity to carbon and help improving the strength. These steels they have a very fine ferrite grains and the strength improves according to the Hall-Petch equation, where flow stress is inversely proportional to the square root of grain diameter. And their typical mechanical properties are Ys is higher, that it is around 400 to 500 megapascal, UTS is around 600 to 650 megapascal, and elongation is 20 to 22%. They also finds structural applications. The last type of mild steel is a weathering steels which contains copper and phosphorus, and these two elements provide the atmospheric corrosion resistance without any added cost of painting. The protective phosphate rust as well as FeOOH rust formed on the surface due to the addition of CO2 plus and PO4 3 minus ions, and corrosion resistance is improved. Sometimes chromium is also added to mild steel to improve the corrosion resistance. The last type of steel is the medium carbon steel. Medium carbon steels having the weight percent ranges from 0.3 to 0.65 weight percent carbon. They are used as forged components like agricultural implements. After forging, the component is air cooled and the microstructure consists of ferrite and pearlite. They are used as structure parts like rails, wheels, axles, etc. So, due to the presence of 1% manganese, eutectoid composition shifts to lower carbon level and the final microstructure becomes fully paralytic. These steels are hard, strong, and wear resistant. Tool steels. Tools requires some specific properties. Number 1, wear and abrasion resistance to withstand the wearing and frictional action. Second, high toughness to be able to stand the sudden impact loading. Third, red hardness to be able to retain the hardness at higher temperature. Second, or the next, is that the non-deforming property, which is the resistance of the tool to withstand the distortion or dimensional changes during the heat treatment. Lastly, it should have a minimum cost. Stainless steels. Steels with excellent corrosion and oxidation resistance, majorly at ambient temperature and atmosphere, fall under the stainless steels category. Sometimes they have good creep resistance too. These steels are high alloyed steels and contains not less than 10 to 12% of chromium along with nickel in most cases. High chromium forms protective chromium oxide and provides stainless property. There are three varieties of stainless steels depending on the base microstructure: ferritic, martinistic, and austenistic stainless steels. If the steel contains chromium greater than 12.7 weight percent, ferrite phase becomes stable in the entire temperature range up to the melting point. In the presence of carbon is the composition of carbon and chromium. They are multiplied and the value is more than 12.7%. Again, the steel becomes ferritic stainless steel. If this number is less than 12.7%, the microstructure becomes martinistic. If nickel and manganese are added sufficiently to stabilize, the austenitic stainless steel is formed. Ferritic steels find application in household and transportation uses. Cutlery items, surgical instruments, and high quality ball bearings are made out of martinistic stainless steels. Austenistic stainless steels find applications in structural applications like in chemical industries, leather industries, etc. High temperature alloys. Special steels are used in applications where high temperatures along with hostile environments, oxygen, sulfur oxides, etc., are experienced. The typical properties of high temperature steels are good oxidation resistance, excellent creep resistance, good microstructural stability with prolonged use, good corrosion resistance, fatigue resistance, and impact toughness. The components should be manufactured easily without any change in properties during periodic heating and cooling. If vanadium and molybdenum are added to low alloy steels, the creep resistance improves to a great extent. These steels find applications in pressure vessel and superheater types, and temperature range is around 450 degrees Celsius. Stainless steels such as martinistic stainless steels actually possess some of the requirements to be used at moderately high temperature applications around 650 degrees Celsius. For the use of steels at high temperatures, superalloys functions the best. Aircraft applications, extremely high creep resistance is required since the turbines operate at temperature in the range of 600 to 1000 degrees Celsius. Iron nickel based alloys forms one of the categories of superalloys. So students, let us summarize what we have learnt in this module. First, among the solids, four groups can be formed: metals and alloys, ceramics, polymers, and composites. Secondly, metals and alloys can further be categorized into the ferrous, which are the iron based, and non-ferrous materials. Ferrous part mainly consists of steel, and it is widely used metallic material. Next, the various properties and specifications of steel based on different classifications, that is Indian standard specifications, AISI SAE classifications, and British specifications are discussed. Next, the plain carbon steel, which is nothing but the low carbon steel, mild steels having 0.1 to 0.25 weight% carbon, and medium carbon steels having 0.3 to 0.65 weight% carbon. These types of steels are all discussed. Lastly, the other types of steels like tool steels, stainless steel, and higher temperature alloys, they are also discussed in this module. Thank you.